Haln is actually here coming at you today in Clash Royale with the most ambitious video I think I've ever made, guys. Next time, the Broken series will be, by the way, on video. We'll have webcams for all my guests. But today, you're stuck with me and not my 2 guests, not my 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 8 guests here on the channel. We're going to do the Broken series like you've never experienced before, guys. We have 2 teams of top celebrity YouTubers in Clash Royale, and they're going to give their best card balance ideas. The other team's going to have a chance to give a rebuttal. Me and my co-panel host judge here, Molt. Molt, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're going to be judging these guys. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm going to introduce the teams real quick. We have Team 1, who is Captain Clash with Shane with KFC and Buffaretti. And Team 2 is going to be Captain Tag with Night Owl and Legendary. So a star-studded lineup, no doubt. We're going to go ahead and get the format ready, ironed out, and come back to you guys with the first team going with our first card balance idea. All right, guys, so first up, we're going to have Team Tag. Team Tag, who's going to be the first to present your card?
I will. I step forward.
All right, Tag, what do you have for us here?
All right, so number 1, definitely got to be the Heal Spirit. I know that some people like the card. I actually do really enjoy playing it. However, it's overpowered. 53% win rate right now, and it actually used to be 54 over a long period of time, like the entire week in grand challenges. So the issue with the card is it's played with Sparky. It's played with every single beatdown or Elixir Golem deck with Healer. It's played with Royal Hogs. It's played with Royal Giant Cycle. So there's a plethora of decks that are played with it, right? And it, for 1 Elixir, can kill the skeletons that your opponent is cycling on top of your Sparky, right? And then it can heal up the Sparky. So for me, it's not fair that it's able to remove the distractions there. It's not fair that it's able to stop my skeletons from distracting the Sparky. So what I would do is I would not allow the Heal Spirit to kill skeletons, and that would be my main nerf to it. But I think that it's just overplayed right now, and it makes Royal Giant get that extra hit that it shouldn't get for 1 Elixir and being able to kill bats and skeletons. Like getting a positive Elixir trade against bats just isn't really that fair while it does heal as well. So it shouldn't be able to kill bats. It shouldn't be able to kill skeletons. Maybe just like 1 HP off for damage. That would be my first thing.
Okay, so 1 HP off, a little bit of a nerf to the Heal Spirit. Team Shane, do you guys have a rebuttal for the Heal Spirit before Molt and I cast our judgment?
Yeah, I think the Heal Spirit, an argument can be made for being overpowered, but honestly, like, it's one of the coolest cards they've added to the game in a while. I love it. I think it's like a crazy idea. They took a card like the Heal Spell that was virtually useless in Clash Royale and made it into this cool, interesting card. So I would hate to see it be nerfed to the point where it's not used again. So I would err on the side of caution for that one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because, like, if you tip it too much over to, like, the nerf end, then, like, Ice Spirit will just become so much more superior in pretty much every situation. The fact that it's the same card, but it freezes something for half a... Like, you have to be careful if you're going to nerf it. Like, really, really careful.
The thing I love about the Heal Spirit, too, is it, like, enables, like, decks to kind of break through major defenses by keeping things alive. And I think it keeps the gameplay more offensive. So, I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I can see the argument for sure.
All right, Molt, what side of this argument are you on? Which team did a better job, proving their case?
I was on Tag's team, but Shane saying that it keeps the game more offensive, I think was really good to hear. I do agree that I like the 1 damage less because it's still going to get its heal. Still only costs 1 elixir, so it'll still stay alive and maybe be able to do its damage, but just not also kill the things around it. But ultimately, I think I'll go with Tag on this one.
Okay. He's going to go with Tag. I'm going to make it interesting. My viewers are going to have to vote here because I'm actually going to go with the rebuttal team, even though Tag did make a very compelling case. And I do agree that in a vacuum, Heal Spirit is the most powerful card in the game. A lot of people say that, and I think it does make a lot of sense. It's incredibly powerful for 1 elixir. However, with that said, it's not boxing out any of the other 1 elixir cards in Skeleton and the Ice Spirit. You're seeing those cards still being used, and I don't feel like it's oppressive in an ugly way. And I do agree it was a nice way to take a really crappy card and Heal Spell, turn it into a card. So next up, we'll go ahead and we'll let Team Tag go first with all their ideas, then we'll switch it over to Team Shane. So what do you have next for us, Tag or Tag representative?
Yeah, so the next one, heavy hitter again. Prince is out here chilling with a 53% win rate again over 14 days. And that's really high considering it's got an 18% usage rate. So it's not really very fair right now. And I'm sure that a lot of people feel the same way when you have that Prince coming at you at 1 HP and then it does 700 damage to your tower. Yes, 700 damage with a charge. Not very fair. So a lot of games that I've been playing and grand challenges and everything, you can actually just win with the Prince. It's literally a win condition. I was playing Prince Freeze with Skeleton Dragon, and I had Graveyard in my deck, so then my opponent couldn't like go in for fireballs on my Skeleton Dragon. They usually had to use it on defense. And they just lost the game. I never used my Graveyard. The Prince was literally the win condition. I got 12 win with that. So I'm like feeling that the Prince probably needs a little bit of a nerf. The HP was too high. It was too high of an increase. I would maybe try to find like a middle ground between where it was before and where it is now, just because it's a really fun card to play, and I think it's good for the game to have the differences between Mini Pack and Prince and Lumberjack. They're all kind of unique, but Prince is definitely overshadowing and power creeping them. So I would find a middle ground where the HP nerf is a little bit more fair.
Okay. Any rebuttal to the Prince nerf idea, Team Shane?
I think besides the fact that it was literally just buffed, I don't know. I can agree that it's definitely very popular and strong right now. I would be sad to see it get nerfed so fast though. Like they literally just increased it this month here. And in terms of the health being too high, like 3%, man, 3% increase, it begs the question of, was the Prince actually weak beforehand? Or like, was that 3% health buff enough to make it like overpowered? Or were people kind of just like ignoring it for too long?
Interesting question. Molt, what do you feel? How do you feel about the Prince?
For me, he actually hasn't felt like an issue lately. And I feel like he's you can distract him fairly easily for a positive elixir trade, whether that's with like skeletons and archers or guards and archers. I guess that'd be a even one or whatever. No, it wouldn't. It would be negative. But yeah, I haven't noticed him being too strong because I feel like he's fairly easy to be distracted.
Okay, so you are Team Shane on this one. This is another tough one. But I think Shane brought up one good point at the end, right? There's no doubt the Prince is super strong, and it does feel ridiculous when he does make contact with your tower for that much damage. But with all that said, like I'm asking the same question to my viewers, guys. Is a 3% HP increase enough to make this card go from barely used to, when I say barely used, I mean his use rates were like 5% or something in the game, you know? Less than that. To now oppressively strong because of a 3% HP buff? Are there other cards like that? What is the next Prince card where we're like, oh, that card sucks, and then it gets a 1% HP buff, and we're like, wow, nerf this card, it's everywhere, you know? So it's an interesting thought experiment, but I am on the fence on this one, guys.
And he's maxed out now. So if someone didn't have it maxed out, they might be using it and experimenting with it because of the boost.
The ladder boost. That might be the problem, the ladder boost, right, guys?
Yeah,
Tag, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the one thing that I just want to say really quickly is it wasn't being used last meta because Goblin Hut was so strong, and Goblin Hut spawned a ton of Spear Goblins, so it's really hard to justify using a 5 elixir cost card when it's going to get distracted that easily. So that was one of the main reasons, I think.
So basically, it's like meta dependent, basically.
Yeah.
We're going to put this one up for another, just like everyone, we're going to put it up for my viewers to vote on in the community tab. What do you have next for us, Team Tag?
You know what? I'll step forward here.
All right, Night Owl.
I just want to say I'm super proud to be representing Team Tag.
How you doing, Night Owl?
To be here today. This is so exciting. I feel like I'm actually going to be on the winning team this time for once in my life.
Talking some smack before he's even said a word. All right.
Down there.
Hey, it's okay. I've always been on my own team before, and I've lost every time. But so you guys do not appreciate my Ram Rider comments. But the card that I'm bringing to the table today is the Skeleton Dragons. Right now, the second used most troop in the game on ladder. Extremely strong with the damage that it deals. I love the card itself is awesome. I think everything about the card is awesome. It's unique in a way that it brings a new dragon to the game. I love dragons just because Dragons in and of itself is a cool concept to have in the game, but right now they just deal a little bit too much damage for the cost. And when you get those things locked on something with nothing to defend with, it'll just melt things so quickly. So, I mean, just to nerf the dragons, all it would take is just a little bit of a damage nerf, and I think that would fix the problem. They would still be viable in every situation, usable, but then they'd be able to be defended against as well.
Okay, rebuttal.
All right, so I got actually agree and disagree with half of each part of that statement. I agree that it needs a nerf, 100%. Like the damage output is insane, dude. Like for a splash damage card, it's basically a tank destroyer. Like it puts skeleton dragons on a royal giant and it just shreds through it like in 2 seconds. Their damage output is insane. So I can see
tower from the river one time, dude.
I could see the skeleton dragons getting like a 25% damage nerf, man. Like they're freaking insane. But the part that I actually disagree with was when Night Owl said that they're unique. I actually think they're kind of a not necessarily interesting card in the sense of what they do. Obviously they're the only kind of split splasher in the game, the only swarm splasher we have, which is kind of cool. But like I don't know, I think there's more kind of untapped potential with the skeleton dragon card overall.
Okay. I'm gonna give that one personally to Night Owl because I think Shane just basically agreed with him the whole time. So, Molt, what do you think?
Way to go, Team Shane.
Sorry.
I agree. I think that they're too strong, not only just for their damage, but because it's another card for fireball bait decks, and just they're really, really strong for their price and their splitability for sure.
All right, sounds good. So we are all on the same page. Stamp of approval to nerf the skeleton dragon. I know not all my viewers are on the same page, though, because a few of you guys I asked you in yesterday's video, and a lot of people were like, nah, they're just fine. Shut up, YouTubers. Which I'm sure is going to be a reoccurring theme here in the comments today. But, all right, so we have one more card, and who better to deliver it than Legendary? Ray, what's up, man?
Hello, happy to be here, representative of Team Tag, and I personally, and as a team, as a representative of Team Tag, would like to see a buff to the Fire Spirits. All right, so my homies, the Fire Spirits, they are one of the least used cards in the game. All right, if I go ahead and check Stats Royale and scroll all the way to the bottom, I still can't find it. Okay, so they're not used. And in addition to that, the Furnace also just recently received a nerf in HP. I believe it was like 15% or something. So that is also another massive hit to the Fire Spirits. So I think the Fire Spirits should receive 2 changes. The first is an increased range, because a lot of the times when you play the Fire Spirits, you know, they just get straight up taken out way too quickly. And in a meta with skeleton dragons and royal hogs and lava hounds, like the Fire Spirits should be able to just, you know, disintegrate all those cards, but they don't. And I believe a higher range would make that a little bit more effective. In addition to that, the Ice Spirit and the Heal Spirit both have a range of 2.5, and the Fire Spirits have a range of 2. So if we could just, you know, bump that up to 2.5, that would be great. The next thing I want to see is an increase in the splash radius, because again, Fire Spirits just don't do a good enough job when it comes to actually taking out swarms.
All right. So a very, I think, Ray, last time we had you on, you talked about Fire Spirits too. So you're passionate about your homies, the Fire Spirits. Any rebuttal to Fire Spirits, Team Shane?
I'll have one. I guess the main difference is that both of the other spirits provide so much more value for half of the elixir. One will heal your entire team composition. The other one will completely freeze the entire enemy base. And just having spirits, like most of the time they feel like they're kited or they're always a negative elixir trade with barbarians or other spirits. I feel like a zap would almost always be a better alternative or a log than running Fire Spirits, and will provide more value in the long term and a lot more flexibility than just Fire Spirits.
Well, that's more of a reason to buff them.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
all right. Molt?
Yeah, I don't think there's any arguments here.
I do agree with the splash radius. I'm someone who views spirits in an interesting way, because I think the way that they interact sometimes with troops is very interesting, how units will just stare at them, and that can be pretty frustrating. I do agree with the damage, and I think that should be buffed, but I think that they should figure out a way to make them interact differently with the units so that they stop taking damage when they should be shot. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. Like,
what were
I was
you
gonna say, like
Shane?
when a ranged unit like targets a fire spirit and like shoots, but the fire spirit still jumps anyways.
Right.
It's like super
I
awkward.
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think we're all on the same page then. It sounds like I'm also in favor of doing something with the fire spirits, and Ray's ideas sound better than I could think of, so I'm going to go with it. Okay, so that is Team Tag. So Team Tag, to just a kind of intermission time for you guys. They Night Owl talked us into nerfing the skeleton dragon. Tag talked about the heal spirit and the prince, both of who he wants to see a nerf, and fire spirits buff from Legendary. That is Team Tag concluded and in the books. Now we go over to the other side of the team here. Team Shane. Shane, who's going to start it off on your team?
I want to nominate my dear friend KFC to start things off over here.
KFC, what's up, man?
Morning.
You still sleeping? You still recovering from your 24-hour play Clash Royale?
Yeah, I just woke up, bro. It's been a while. But so my thing is nerf spell tower damage by 5%, because we're seeing spell cycle decks pop up more and more due to buildings getting a nerf, which inherently leads to beatdown being stronger in the meta, which is why beatdown is everywhere at the moment. Also, the skeleton dragons being added contribute to that, like beatdown being stronger. So with these heavy defensive decks that work well against beatdown and rely on spell cycling the tower, such as Iceberg, they become ridiculously strong right now because they can just sit back, play heavy defense, and spell cycle to win. So I think like defensive nature gameplay is like heavily, favored right now in the game compared to like a lot of other archetypes and ways to win. So I think all spells should have tower damage reduced by 5%.
All right. Any rebuttal there from Team Tag?
I just have a question as well. Do you think that they should also add this change to the miner? Because they recently just nerfed his tower damage to match the spells.
No.
There you go.
I don't.
You can catch
No,
the line.
I just don't.
So just spells. Nerf
That's
the
all I had to contribute.
any rebuttals?
Well, I mean, just as a team play, I mean, we're obviously against Team Shane, supposedly, right? Just as a team play, that's such a cop out. That is such a cop out. He's not even picking a card. He's like, oh, let's make the arena more beautiful. I mean,
Wait,
could
what did you choose?
take an
Skeleton dragon?
easier nerf course of action? Obviously, we're gonna agree with that crap. Come on. Pick a
Okay.
card.
Man, you chose skeleton dragons. You cannot talk. They are in like every single deck, every single archetype in the entire meta.
Now it's
And
getting
you're
ugly.
coming
I
at
like
me
this.
Boom.
for nerfing
You got something
spell
to say,
tower
Jeff?
damage. Bro,
All right,
I'm
well,
just saying,
hey.
I'm coming in with the creativity. He's coming in with the obvious choice.
Your team captain has been very quiet here. Do you agree, Tag, with the tower damage?
I hate Expo Rocket Cycle more than anything in the game. It's the only thing that I want to have like nerfed to oblivion, just because it detracts the fun from it sometimes.
So check
when
it
you
out.
get spell cycled, from full HP and you can't do anything, it's not even inherently skillful in a lot of matchups. Sometimes it is, like it's hard to defend, but it's really the only deck that I really dislike. So yeah, I agree with him, but the way that I might approach it is maybe nerfing Tornado or something along those lines, because Tornado is kind of the way that it works. With 2.9 Expo, it's not really as problematic, but because they have
nerf Tornado?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
It's already weak, I think, in my opinion. It's just good in Icepo though.
Yeah. I think that
No,
Tornado.
I disagree. I think NATO's stronger in other decks besides just Icepo right now.
No, yeah, I'll just use Icepo as it's the predominant example.
Yeah.
I might just think that Tornado is like a fundamentally like broken card for the game because of that. Yeah, you could do different things to change it, but yeah.
So I think that's I don't know how you feel about this, Mo, but it's a clear win for KFC and Team Shane here because the other team agreed with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tag.
It is a clear win. I have an idea that could go against that. That in lots of other games there are deny spells. So what if there was something you could play to give your tower a shield when you see a rocket coming that would deny 200 damage or something like that?
Yeah, what about the shield/denial spell?
Yeah.
Like some damage will still be done, obviously, because a rocket is very expensive, and I would imagine this card being 2 to 3 elixir or something.
But what if your rocket has a really pointy end and it can break through?
If it's max star points, then it gets through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What if they just made it so that spells progressively did less and less damage to a tower?
Yes.
Ooh.
Like if you did like
I
one
think
One
rocket
does
for
100,
damage,
the
like
next
like a
one does
percentage
85.
damage.
yeah.
I'm gonna go
that's a good one.
crazy here, but I think that the best idea would be to just give us like, dude, it's only been 6 years or 5 years, and we've been using the same damn towers with the same abilities. Give us a tower that puts out way less damage, but's more spell resistant. You know, give us some flexibility.
Yeah.
In our towers in the game, like allow maybe a tower that can hit the princess, but it takes 8 shots to kill her or something. You know, like I don't know, give us a little flexibility in terms of having some customization and some
Yeah, what if they had like
value.
a fortified tower that had more health but less range? That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Anyway, there's a bunch of ideas there, but
Clash Royale, Ash?
What's that?
Are you sending all this to Clash Royale?
yes, we're forwarding this right to the team. All right,
While
so
we're on
next up, huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, buff skeleton barrels cosmetics, so it's like, or not skeleton barrel, skeleton dragon's cosmetics, so it shoots something different than the flames that baby dragon does.
Blue flames.
Green poison.
Ice.
Yeah.
Ice. Yeah, I like that too. Okay, who's up next for Shane? Team Shane here.
Who's on my team again?
KFC and Bufferetti, Shane. Come on, man.
Oh, Bufferetti.
This is very hard. This is very hard because I had to choose between going with the popular opinion versus what's right. It's time for the elite barbs to get where they deserve. 2 years ago, the elite barbs and the Royal Giant were a full meme and everyone hated them and blah, blah, blah. And now Royal Giant is played by everyone in CRL. And it's like, oh, yeah, there's the Royal Giant. We need to see elite barbs in CRL. And elite barbs have never played anywhere competitively fun. Ash one time did a bet and someone played it to win like $100. That's the only time they've seen competitive play. They need to do something so they are viable. Right now, you can just distract them and do a massive positive elixir trade. They need to be viable, not only when you overlevel them.
Okay, the elite barbarians. I was waiting for him. Finally, my man Bufferetti.
There they are.
Okay, rebuttal.
Hey, I'm Night Owl here. I agree with him.
Thanks. Thanks. Hey, thanks for the good idea on how to buff them. Really appreciate it. Oh, they need buffed. How? I don't know.
All right, so that's your only criticism?
No, they need buffed. Come on, let's bring them into the game. Crap. Never mind. Wait, hold on.
They're the
Let me
third
consult with
lowest
my
win rate
captain
card in
real
the entire
quick.
game
Are
right
we
now.
supposed to agree with them or not? Tag, are we supposed to agree with them? Disagree. Oh, hey, no, don't buff them.
Okay, so you agree. I will go. I'm curious on Molt's thought on elite barbs, but my thought is we just applauded the team for deleting the heal spell and replacing that card with something different, like pretty dramatically different. I think they should do the same thing with elite barbarians and just make them a whole new card.
Spirit.
I agree. Yeah, I think a rework is better than a buff or a nerf.
Yeah, like I'm not even afraid of them going like way off the reservoir with a rework idea. Like make them into something just totally different, you know, as long as they're still barbarians, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like once cards get so low in the use rate percentage, like just rework it. Otherwise you're gonna have to buff it so significantly to bring it up into a usage rate where a lot of people are using it, and then you're gonna have to nerf it again. So rework them and see if you can have some fun with it.
I don't know, man. Mole, I'm gonna give this one to Team Shane again here because they didn't really have any good rebuttals for it.
Let's go.
2 for 2. All right.
By the way, Drew, since you're listening, Barbarian Ogre would be my idea. Instead of 2, just a big guy with a big hammer that just hits them really hard. Barbarian Ogre.
I like that.
I like
we
it.
need an ogre. No trolls, no ogres in this game. What the hell's going on?
All right.
Next
All right,
up.
moving
Next
on.
up.
The next 2 cards that I have here.
Okay.
All right. Number 1's going to be the Bowler. Bowler's been a very, very low-use card for a severely long time now. And a while ago, Seth actually shared an interesting idea on Twitter where the Bowler would have increased damage versus buildings, similar to the Earthquake. And when you think about it, the Boulder throws this giant, massive rock, which should do more damage to buildings. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see they kind of convert the Bowler into a more offensive unit than defensive. Because the problem with Bowler right now is if you buffed it in its current state, it becomes oppressively defensive. It's hard to break through and knocks everything back. And it's a frustrating card to deal with. Shift his focus to more of a kind of like pseudo win condition where it breaks through buildings, breaks through towers, and helps your beatdown push get through. And less defensive would be my idea of card number 1 is a buff for the Bowler, any slight kind of rework.
Okay. Any a buff for the Bowler, make him break on through to the other side. Any rebuttals there, Team Tag?
Yeah, Bowler is an incredibly oppressive card, especially with like Graveyard Control Splash Yard. If you guys remember what that meta was like, it was not fun to play in because everyone was playing defensive. They were cycling bowlers in the back. And then if you went opposite lane, you would just get punished really, really hard. So it was difficult to ever break through when Bowler was meta. So I just don't want to revisit that. I feel like if they were to buff it, it could be good, but they need to make it very moderate, small changes because we already saw what happened with the Prince, 3% HP buff.
But that's what I mean, though, right? Because you said like it's oppressively defensive. What if they remove the knockback altogether? No knockback, but now deals double damage to buildings, right? That would make it a lot less defensive, a lot less oppressively defensive, easier to break through on like when on your offense, their defense, but also more effective on the counter push, I guess.
I fundamentally don't like cards that do more damage to a specific type. So like Earthquake, right? It does more damage to buildings. I feel like that's really unhealthy card concept because if you play against building decks, you're going to do really well. But if you don't play against building decks, I hate rock, paper, scissors. I want to have it like, I want to go into the game and be like, all right, I'm not going to have this game decided based off matchup. I'm going to have it decided based off of how I play. And I feel like Earthquake, in some situations, decides the match before you get into the game, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't like that.
But I also feel like Bowler needs some kind of unique ability about him because as it is, the last time Bowler was meta in these graveyard metas and stuff where it was counter push heavy, there wasn't cards like Firecracker and Magic Archer that you could play at the bridge and snipe him while he's defending. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he needs some other aspect to him because like fundamentally, like he is a pretty weak card if you think about it now that since Magic Archer and Firecracker have joined the game, but maybe adding some like bonus in some matchups or some bonus maybe will help make him actually viable in some decks because he's pretty
terrible right now. Yeah.
Any all right, Team Molt, Team Ash, what do you guys?
Yeah. What do you have, Co-Judge Molt?
I've always loved the Bowler and his concept. I do agree with Tag that the Splash Yard deck is wildly annoying. But I do also think that he needs something to make him work better in other decks because I feel like that's the only one that he really works in. And so the building, if he does more damage to buildings and that's just what they add, then he's going to be even stronger in that deck. I would like to see him knock back some more things like princes and stuff like that, but not everything. That's one thing I've thought, but I do agree that he needs a buff because I do want to see him more, but they do have to be careful with it. So I don't know. It's split because I agree with what Tag said about Splash Yard and that deck being really, really annoying, but I also miss seeing the Bowler and hearing him say bowling.
I miss the Bowler too. I've never played the game once in my life with sound, so I don't know what he says. But I've never. I miss the Bowler, man. I think that the Bowler needs a change. But I am in agreement here on this one. Unfortunately, because I do want a change to the Bowler, but I'm in agreement with Tag here. I just remember how annoying the Bowler was when he was really good, and it's kind of like one of those things is that. You want it until you have it, then you're like, wow, Bowler is really
Did you guys
annoying.
hear that part that I said where he doesn't knock back units anymore?
I know, but what is he doing? Throwing his boulder across the arena to an Inferno Tower and crushing it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, just destroys it. Yeah, like a...
All right, listen, I'm open to ideas, but that's my ruling. I'm shocked. There's still one card left. I'm shocked that nobody's gone with Firecracker. You just mentioned it, man. That's the most annoying card. But
dude, Firecracker needs to die to log, man.
Go on. Hey, you have one more. You want to give it to us?
No. It's not Firecracker. It's actually going to be the Furnace.
Furnace over the Firecracker?
Yeah, dude. Furnace is like, dude, it wasn't even good beforehand.
Okay.
And it got like a health nerf out of nowhere. It was already kind of like at a bad state. And then you're just like, hey, let's remove some health from it. So I think Furnace, I think maybe we can join teams here for a moment. Me and my dear friend, Legendary Ray. And he wants to buff the Fire Spirits. What if we, somehow rework the Fire Spirits to 1 elixir, similar with the other spirits, and then reworked the Furnace as well to now be worth using in Clash Royale?
He's tricking you.
Yeah, I think that is a great idea.
You agree with me?
It's bait.
Nice.
It's bait. Don't take the bait.
You agree with us?
Oh, boy.
Shane was in Debaters Club in school, man.
All right, so no arguments there. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, that's that.
That's that.
I guess that's that.
No, I think
let me talk to my teammates real
alone
quick.
would be enough to bring Furnace back.
I don't know though.
I disagree. Yeah, the furnace is trash. Like honestly, like the card itself is really
It's
weak.
made of paper now. You look at it and it falls down.
It used to be good with Royal Giant, but now it's not viable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think Team Tag supports and agrees.
Yeah, I think that. Hey, I think that. I want to. Okay, Molt. Quick thoughts on Furnace. I also want to get a quick because Molt hasn't had a chance to actually give any cards here. But 2 cards that I would have included in the list are Zappies and Firecracker, wanting a buff and a nerf respectively. Molt, what are your thoughts on those 2 cards?
Okay. Zappies, you want to buff them?
I want to buff them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Zappies are super fun. Really unique in the fact that just like everything about them is fun, that they target air and ground, and sometimes you can utilize them and they will stop very, very big pushes if people have already used their spells and whatnot. So I agree with that. I'd love to see those more. And Firecracker, yeah, she lives for way too freaking long. And the way that people luckily put her down to shoot at my skeleton barrel and then kill all of the skeletons is a joke. So, yes.
What about you, Molt? What is obviously I have 100% approval rating of Molt judging my cards. What about you? Do you have one card that wasn't mentioned that you really want to see balanced?
One that was mentioned indirectly. I mean, really, I have 2. Can I say 2?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna say 2. Number 1, we already kind of talked about it. Expo. Oh my gosh, Molt mentioned Expo. Yes, I'm still mentioning Expo 4 years later.
Do it.
And
I
finally,
agree.
it seems like people are agreeing with me. Not because. Like I agree with the word that it's just oppressive and it's not fun to play against. Like, obviously if you're good enough, a lot of times you can beat it, but it's just not the whole point of games, obviously, yes, is to be competitive and to be good and get that sensation of winning. But also there's that respect aspect of like feeling good when you lost because you felt like you put up a good fight, but you don't really feel like that against a really good Expo player. It just doesn't feel well. Or feel good. So there's that one. For me right now, I want to see an archetype of Golem beatdown nerfed. If it's not the Golem, then it's something in there, because I know you said you don't play with sound, but I'm so tired of hearing the Golem dropped off in the back and then just knowing what's coming.
First play every game, just Golem behind the King Tower.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
So that one I want to see nerfed just based off of it being what it is for too long. Like it's been the same for too long now, and I think it'd be good to see it kind of have some changes.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Well, hey, we've given a lot of my viewers a lot of cards to think about in today's video. I want to give a huge shout out again. All of my my viewers right now would really be a personal favor to me if you check out all of these amazing YouTubers that are on the channel here. We have Booferetti, we have Sir Tag, we have KFC, we have Molt, Night Owl, Legendary, and Clash with Shane. So support my guests here. It helps support me and the channel as well. And thank you guys so much for coming on. Just to remind you guys real quick, the Team Shane's ideas were buffing Bowler, buffing Furnace, buffing Elite Barbarians, nerfing all spell tower damage, excuse me. And then one last time to actually, you know what, I'll include both teams in the poll for you guys to vote on which team you are a bigger fan of their proposed balance changes. Guys, thank you so much. I'm not going to say goodbye to all of you individually. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. This has been a lot of fun.
Woo! See you, Ash.
Morning.
No problem. Guys, that's going to do it. Check out all of these guys. Why not? I'll throw their player stats and profile links to statsroyale.com. And, of course, a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Thank you for watching. And, as always, take care, guys.